Most people think the gym just teaches you how to lift weights. And whilst it does do that, it teaches you a much more important lesson. It teaches you how to get better at anything in life. Like genuinely, improving your grades, money, and just anything that can better your life. Because the gym forces you to do something that most people refuse to do. Put in the work while not seeing immediate results. And once you understand this, it changes everything. For most people, here's what usually happens. You go to gym Monday, you see no results. And that's where most people give up. Not because they're lazy, but they're judging their progress day by day, where progress only shows up after consistency over a large period of time. The gym basically teaches you delayed gratification. And once you can learn that skill, you can apply that to anything. As an example, this is why scrolling ruins so many people's goals. Because scrolling is instant reward. This trains your brain to be like, if I'm not getting a reward now, I'm not going to do it. But the gym trains the opposite. It trains, I'm going to do the work even if I see no results today. And that mindset is rare. And that's why most people can't get good grades and be consistent with a business. And most people end up starting strong, but falling off after only 2 weeks. This is because they're addicted to the instant proof. So the first shift is simple. Stop judging your progress daily and zoom out. It could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be yearly, depending on what it applies to. Because if you want results in anything, you need to be the type of person that shows up even when it feels pointless. Another lesson that the gym teaches you is to do hard things even when you're not in the mood. Think about like those sessions that you don't want to do, but you go anyway. Those are the most important days. Because the goal isn't motivation. Most days you're not going to feel locked in. Most days you're going to feel average and not want to go. It's not that you need more motivation. It's that you need a system in place to keep you moving even on those bad days. Now here's the main cheat code that the gym teaches. It's progressive overload. And if you can take this idea and apply it to anywhere in your life, you'll improve faster than most people around you. So let me explain this in a simple way. Progressive overload in the gym is just slowly increasing the challenge over time. This could be increasing the amount of reps you do each week, increasing the amount of weight, increasing the intensity, things like that. The main thing here is it's about small increases, not massive jumps. Because in the gym, if you try to jump up too much, you'll get injured. And applying this to real life, you'll probably burn out. So the gym really just teaches this formula. Small improvements with consistency is going to give you compounding results. Now this builds on the fact that your body only adapts when it has a reason to. If you do the same reps, the same weights every single week, your body's not going to change. If your habits don't change, your results don't change. You don't just magically improve because you want it more. You improve when the challenge increases slightly and consistently. So using this idea of progressive overload in the gym, we can use this 4-step framework I use to improve at anything in my life. The first thing you want to do is pick the thing you want to improve. The second thing is you want to pick a way that you can measure how to track this over time. The third thing is set a baseline, basically a starting point of where you're going to start and where you want to go. And finally, you want to work out a way that you can improve this over time, which is usually going to be the thing that you're tracking to improve it. Now let me go over some examples to make this more simplified. Now the first example I'm going to go over is applying this to my study. Now most people might think, well, we can just try and increase the amount of hours we study each day. But trust me, that's not the optimal way to do it, as studying more hours doesn't lead to better results always. So instead, we want to overload things that actually matter. Now this could be the number of practice questions, but it also could be the time you're taking to do each question. It could be how many of these are you getting right. Things like that actually will increase and improve your results over time. So let's say you're doing maths. Let's say you're studying for an exam that's upcoming in a few weeks. You could start with something like 10 practice questions a day and aim for 60% of them correct. Come to the next week, it could be increase the amount of practice questions a day, or it could be trying to improve how many you get correct of those 10 questions. Come to the third week, it could be keeping those 2 parameters the same, but now making it time conditions, which is another thing that we're progressing. In a week right before the exam, it doesn't have to be increasing more and more. Sometimes we want to use a deload week, which we use in training, and this can be a week where we do less volume, so less practice questions, and just review our mistakes and things like that can actually help improve our exam performance. That's literally progressive overload applied to studying. And the best part is that it doesn't rely on daily motivation. You set up a system and a plan that allows you to do things and improve on a day-to-day basis, even when you don't feel bothered. Now, another big important example I'm going to use is money and jobs. Most people think that you just get a better job because you wanted it more. But the reality is, you get that job because you've improved skills in some area. And here's how we can apply the progressive overload framework to something like this. Instead of picking something like the amount of hours worked a week, that's not sustainable and not a good measure. For things like getting a job, it could be the amount of interviews you've practiced a week, the amount of times you've spent building some skill that is going to improve on that job, or the amount of applications you've even sent out. It can be anything like that, and obviously varies depending on what you're trying to do in this area. From there, you just pick a baseline, something you want to track, and start rolling with it. Now, a thing that I find interesting here as well is another important thing that progressive overload does. Let's say you end up getting a better job that does pay better. With that money you now have gotten from using this progressive overload framework, you can then use that money to improve other areas of your life. So it could be your health, it could be your work environment. You can then reinvest that, let's say, into your work environment to be more productive, which ends up making you better at producing and learning more skills, which then keeps progressing you over time, and it becomes a compounding effect. So if I had to summarize what the gym had taught me in one line, it would be that consistency beats intensity, and that small upgrades in your life compound over time. So if you want to get better at anything, just apply this progressive overload framework. Pick something you want to do, work out a way to track it, increase over time, and make sure to recover so that you don't burn out. And then just repeat this process. Make sure to let me know in the comments something that you're going to try apply this framework to, and I can help you out with developing an actual plan to help you improve with this.